Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this 1922nd episode of Tintoria. Today is an incredible episode, Rapone. I'm really excited. Please contain yourself. There's a guest we've been chasing far and wide. Isn't that right, Rapone? An idol, but an idol as a meme. As a meme, just to be clear. Also because he put a lot of people up against the wall. Up against the wall for sure. It's terrible. And by the way, do you know which wall is useful to protect us from those who steal our data when we connect to public Wi-Fi? I have no idea. I'll give you a hint. It starts with N and ends with N, but it can't be the Necronomical. NordVPN? No, NordVPN. NordVPN, I didn't see that coming. And do you know how many clicks it takes to open the link in the description with a huge discount? 2. No, you have to say it. Sorry, right, just 1 click. Obviously, since we're a parody, the discount code is Cartoni Morti. And speaking of the dead, the time has come. Let's give a warm round of applause to him, Il Duce. Good evening.
Good evening, such enthusiasm.
I would like to specify before creating any misunderstandings that he is not throwing his heart, but rather he is just giving the Roman salute. The one and only original. He said it well. I wouldn't want to be mistaken for an oligarch of a plutocratic government. No one would want that, Mr. Duce. For us, it's an honor to finally have you here. An honor? But as a meme? Rapone couldn't sleep last night from excitement. Having you here is a unique chance, and we have many questions. Let's jump to Rapone's first question. Yes, and how are you? Good, just a bit of gastritis from stress. I'm sorry. Look, if your feet smell too, I can recommend a miraculous powder. But Rapone had also prepared another question, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and what did you do today? What did you do today? Excuse him, I swear he also asked good questions. This morning I rose from the dead as a special exception and came here. Yes, because by now you reside there, excuse me for saying it, in the afterlife. Yes, it's only valid for today, unfortunately. This time, instead of marching on Rome, I came down to Earth. I can say I have to say, you arrived right on time. This morning, did you have time to reclaim any swamps? Look, this thing has gotten a bit out of hand. People stop me on the street and ask me about trains and swamps. Always land trains, swamps. Well, they're classics. Even the Duce is a victim of his own catchphrases. And by the way, we usually tell the story of comedians from when they started until now. But I'm not a comedian, a tragic comedian. I wanted to ask you, you started with an old school repertoire with monologues against the church, and we can say it, it's a bit socialist. The usual communist comedian. But then we know that you had a slight turn to the right and your most viral phrases became things like God, country, and family. Another big catchphrase. So I wanted to know, have they ever given you a hard time about this? Maybe digging up your old tweets? Everyone liked me too much to risk giving me a hard time. Yeah, but why did you decide to change your material? Was it because things were woke before and then the wind changed?
Before you had to go along with the dominant way of thinking, but then the wind shifted.
Did you have to pretend to be something you weren't because the elites forced you? But then, once the wind shifted, did you find the courage to say what the people want to hear, Mr. Duce? Exactly. Great. And we can say it, the people love him for that too, even though he took away free elections. I don't like to tempt fate too much. Now that you're, let's say, deceased, have you ever met Berlusconi in the afterlife? I saw him once, but it was from afar. Great. You should know that Stefano and I have a bit we always do. It's called pooping in the club. It's a goofy bit. You talk about the most uncomfortable place where you've taken a dump. Do you, Mr. Duce, have any experience to share with us? Pooping in the club? Not necessarily in a club. I think in your time they didn't even exist. Well, there was one time, but I don't know if I can tell it. Come on, go ahead. Open up with us, Mr. Duce. So, I had to give the speech to the chamber for my inauguration. Yes, that was a great one, wasn't it? The bivouac. The bivouac of maniples. Yes, that's right. I never understood what the maniples were, or even the bivouac. I'll tell you later. Anyway, it's a very important speech. Wow. So, before the speech, which was going to be in the early afternoon, I went to the tavern Il Gallo Nero to have a quick plate of pasta. Good place, Il Gallo Nero. Let's say hi to our friends at Il Gallo Nero, the Black Shirt Rooster. I asked them to make me my usual spaghetti with garlic, oil, and chili pepper, but they tell me they're out of oil. Wow. And Cesarino says to me, "Don't worry, Benito, I'll get the oil. I think I understood." I eat the pasta all happy and head to the meeting with the king when I start to feel a bit of turmoil in my stomach. Ouch! I think it's nothing. I meet the king, shake his hand, bow slightly, and well, I didn't crap myself right away. No.
It was castor oil, right?
Of course it was castor oil. Nice, nice. Let's not judge. Listen, Mr. Duce, we have another bit. Usually we ask the guest who their favorite foreign dictator is. Foreign. Well, I definitely bonded a lot with Adolf even though he made his mistakes and I don't deny it. Do you regret having him as a friend? We all know what he did. I let some things slide. But when he forced me to issue those famous flatbreads without ham because he was a vegetarian, as someone from Romagna, that was a hard blow. I had heard something like that. Mr. Duce, on that note, I wanted to ask you, who is your favorite character from Dragon Ball? Sorry, excuse him, Mr. Duce. He's obsessed with Dragon Ball. I'd say Piccolo. Great, he's my favorite too. I'm surprised you don't call him Junior like everyone else.
Why use a foreign name when there's an Italian word?
I completely agree. I have another question. You are very successful among both young and old people, but many, I assume, also criticize you. So how do you deal with haters if you have them? I only say one thing about haters. I don't care. Absolutely right, that's a good message, but deep down it does bother me a little and I wish I didn't have them. No, it's normal. I have an opinion about them that's not very politically correct. We like that, Mr. Duce. Go ahead and say it. We won't censor you. Well, in my opinion, I would go to the haters' houses, break their bones, and make sure that no one could publicly criticize what I do. Honest! Maybe it's better to cut this part. No. Here there's no censorship. Just like when you use NordVPN to set your location abroad and see what's hidden in your own country. Link in the description. Mr. Duce, we've had a lot of fun, but allow me to also ask a slightly uncomfortable question. Do you consider yourself anti-fascist? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I have no problem answering.
Careful, Il Duce is not afraid of cancel culture. The wind has changed.
I believe, and I have said many times on this matter that unquestionably, with the utmost firmness and clarity, I believe the question is anachronistic. You're right, but in fact it was a question from Rapone. We wrote it together. How much longer will this torment go on? Look, we're halfway through. Halfway? No, I'm joking. We're almost done.
Even though I could stay here for hours, I have to go pee. I wouldn't want to bore the audience. You never bore anyone.
You never bore anyone, Mr. Duce. Rapone, ask him the last question. There are still so many questions we would like to ask you, but alas, time is a tyrant. No offense, Mr. Duce.
So I had to choose just one that I care about in particular.
Do you prefer The Simpsons or Family Guy? Don't listen to him, he's got it in for Family Guy, that ungrateful guy. I'll ask you the last question. As you may have seen, you have many admirers. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps? Clearly, let's specify, only in a good way. Yes, in a good way. For example, someone who wants to achieve the positive achievements you've had in 20 years of undisputed dominance in the field, I don't know, of wheat or of fashion. There are no cryptic secrets to becoming what I have become. All I have done is follow 3 simple rules. First, get up early in the morning and take a cold shower to get into the right mindset. Second, manipulate an army of violent people and use them to seize power, convincing the masses with populist and opportunistic rhetoric that you are the strong man who solves problems. Then control all the information so that no one can prove that you might just be yet another arrogant fool. Third, always believe in yourself.
Absolutely. And with these beautiful words, let's give another big round of applause to Il Duce. Thank you very much.